I'm a few minutes early. I'll get ants in my pants, waiting for the right time to start. And I know you can set it up ahead of time so it starts right on time. But I don't know, that makes me nervous too, because what if I'm not quite ready when it turns on and then you're just looking at a empty room? And it says live with Chico because, well, he's a little camera shy, but he's going to lay down right behind my chair because last Monday I did, live stream, and then I did a Zoom meeting with someone else, and Chico was locked out the whole time, and he was very sad to be left out of the room. So I decided, well, he can just nap in here while I talk to you guys. So anyway, no topic again today because I don't know. I guess I couldn't think of any topics to talk about. I wonder if I think I have everything set up. I don't have my son helping me today. Yeah, it says all messages are visible. What does this do? Oh, no, that's not right. I want that. So I think, I don't even remember what week we are of Safer at Home at this point. it's been it's been so long. I would have to look at my schedule. Good morning, Jeremy. I'm glad you're at work. I wish I was at work. I'm glad the sun is out today. We had some snow on the ground the other morning. I didn't like that very much. The yeah. Anyway, the number of weeks that have gone by that we've been home, and I know there's a Wisconsin press conference this afternoon to see if they have any new information. Every time I watch one, I'm in hopes that they're going to say salons and spas can open. I'm settled in at home, but I just would like to get back to my clients. They keep messaging me and they miss me, and they need their hair done, of course. Oh, thank you. I hadn't done my hair in like 3 months because I was trying to, I guess, grow out my natural color, and it was grown out several inches. And then I wanted to bring my, oh, they call it balayage, my balayage up higher. And so I did that, but because I don't have to go to work and I'm not pressured to have my hair look just right, I only did half of it. So I did half of it. So I still have some work to do on this hair, but for today, I don't know what's going on here. But for today, I just kind of left it half done. So it's pretty orange, but that's okay. Whatever. And I'm kind of astonished. And I know I know all about this because I am a hair colorist. But as people get older, their hair starts losing pigment. So I'm kind of astonished. I had 3 inches of natural growth, and I can't believe how light my hair has gotten, my natural color, because, yeah, it used to be super dark. I had to use the clippers with a number 2 for my summer cut, easy enough for a guy. Yeah, a lot of my clients are doing that, cutting their own hair, just shaving it down. I would like to do that to my husband too, but he won't let me. He still wants to have some hair on top. Yeah, the ladies, especially my professional business women that come to me to get their hair colored, I think they're really suffering right now with all of their natural growing in. We're not used to seeing that, I guess. And these professional ladies, especially the ones that have gray hair, they really, that's kind of the way the professional environment is. They need to remain looking young to advance, I guess. So or keep their status, so they cover up their gray hair. And yeah, so the poor things have got like, roots of white, and I feel bad for them, but there isn't much I can do. A couple asked me if I would come to their house, but legally I can't do that. And I don't want to start that either, because I feel like once this is over, if it was inconvenient for them to come to the salon, they would still want me to come to their house. So you kind of have to, you have to make boundaries with clients, because, if you're a nice person, they kind of want to take advantage of that. So yeah, I think there's a lot of guys shaving their heads. Even my friend that I cut, he shaved his head. And I could have gone to his house and cut his hair. He's like my brother, so I will go over there and cut his hair. But he shaved his head, you know. But yeah, it's been kind of just, I call it laziness for me. Just laziness. My family's still looking good, of course, because they get their hair done all the time. But yeah. How are you today? I am good today. I feel good. I slept well last night. I don't have any aches and pains. I don't feel like an old lady today. The sun is shining. I'm always happier when the sun is shining. I was unsettled yesterday, and yesterday in the United States was Mother's Day. And, I am a mother, so it is the day where they're supposed to celebrate me, and they did a good job. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of having that kind of attention isn't necessarily my favorite thing. I just asked them to make dinner and to clean up after dinner, and that's what they did. So they decided to make homemade pizza. So they did a nice job, and I got my little gluten-free pizza with all the things on it I like, and yeah, that blessed me. And my daughter, she made me a coffee mug. She had, it was really quite the surprise. She had set up a little like messaging page with a few friends of mine, and she had asked them for words. She had asked them for words that describe me to put on this mug. And then she actually she asked me to go buy her a white mug and some paint markers, which I did because I was at Walmart. And so she wrote all of these. I should have brought it in here with me. She wrote all of these words that she and my friends had decided described me, and it was really touching. I actually cried a little bit, and it was so sweet and so nice to be described in that way. And yeah, my daughter's really good at giving gifts. I don't know if that is a ESFP thing, but she really likes to give gifts. She likes to receive gifts too, so maybe that's her love language, as they say. But how is everyone today? How are you guys? Are you doing well? I keep asking, is everybody ready to get out of here? You ready to go back to work? I have allergies. I'm not sick. We're just waiting. I guess I thought Chico would be a little bit more, oh, where did it go? Thanks a lot for answering my question about your experience with young children. Uh, you're welcome. I don't know if I answered it effectively, but it's just, I remember asking my mom similar things, and it was more when I had my second child that I worried about it more than when I just had one child, because when I had just one child, I felt like I could handle it a lot better. And then after I had my second child, that's kind of when I panicked. I was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 months pregnant, and I just broke down about it. Like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to handle it. I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep the schedule that I had, set up for my daughter. And was I going to be able to mother two children effectively? And, my mom had just said, the more you have, the more you can. And because she had 5 children, And she said, you'll be amazed at how you're able to just keep up your schedule and care for them, and you grow with them. So when you're starting out, it is very overwhelming, but you grow with them, and it gets easier in season. So I yeah, the Q&A video was super fun for me. I really enjoyed doing that. It was things that I never thought to talk about. So I like that. I like the question and answer kind of thing. And I've gotten a few other questions to add for another video down the road here. So I will be doing that again. And I also, excuse me, I also got monetized by YouTube, which you sign up for. So I can't say it got monetized, but I signed up to be monetized. I had a debate back and forth of whether I wanted to do that. And then it's just, I'm still working out, trying to figure out how to get the right amount of ads, because if you just let it go for YouTube default, it'll run like ads every 2 minutes, and I don't want that. And so I think I have it figured out, but I may not have for some of my older videos. And that gave me some worry too, because are people going to think, well, she's doing this for money? You know, you get all these weird ideas about things and what you're doing and your motivation. And if I am earning money, is there any point in doing it anymore? You know, it's just crazy, the things that run through your head about stuff. I don't want to, be whatever. But I was able to do it. And actually, I thought it would take a long time, because what I had read and heard is that once you sign up for this YouTube partner program, that it can take 2 weeks up to a month. And it actually only took 2 days. So I don't know if it's because the content on my channel isn't controversial or something like that. We'll just see what happens there. But it's one of those things. It's part of the platform, and you don't have to do it. I do know channels that are much larger than mine. There's a older guy in Southern Alabama that I watch, because he does like backyard planting, and he just seems like he's just like an old soul and a sage, and I enjoy listening to him talk and watching him plant and watch his kitties and stuff. And I think he has 13,000 subscribers, and he does not monetize his channel, and he has said that he does not want to, for personal reasons. He doesn't go into why, but he does not want to. So I know some people choose not to, and it is totally up to you. But at this point, I thought, well, we'll give it a try and see what happens. And, I always am looking at my analytics, and I don't even know what half of them mean, but I noticed like right after my first video ran with ads, I lost 3 subscribers. I'm like, oh no, they think I've sold out. Well, we'll see. Good morning, John. Yay, I came on too early, but we got kombucha again today with strawberries. I go back and forth with kombucha. I really like it. Right. I wouldn't worry about how the others feel about it. That's what my husband says too. He always is telling me that, quit worrying about what others feel about it. Yeah, I certainly never expected to get to that. I guess in my mind, back when I had hit 200, in my mind, I kind of thought that's where I would stay, around that, because I don't know if I know there's things that I could do to grow a lot quicker. And I did do that, some of those things at the beginning, just to get some traction, I guess. But I don't really want to do those things, because I really would like, if there is going to be any more growth, I really would like it to be a little bit more organic, and not like trying to trick the algorithm or fool people or anything like that. So I don't really do any of those things anymore to try to, get more traffic to my channel. And whether that's foolish or not, I don't know, but Yeah, I'm not expecting to get rich on YouTube. Um, and that's okay. I don't really, yeah, I haven't put any money into it. I'm sure you can tell that my setup is very low tech. I don't have like a room, like a filming room. I don't have a fancy camera. I just use my phone, and I have a little like $20 light, which has a tripod thing. So it's just, I haven't put any money into it, and I don't expect to make a bunch of money. But yeah, ads are expected on YouTube, I guess. I just don't want too many of them. So yeah. And I wonder as well, there's things that I could, you got to just like overanalyze everything. And I know there's things that I could leave out of my videos and leave, I think, but it will be fascinating to watch this back in 30 years. Yeah, in 30 years, John, I'll probably think like, what was I doing? Why was I doing that? Why did I decide that that was something important to do? Um, I still think that now. I still go through, like, not every day, but once a week at least, I still go through this like battle with myself of whether or not what I'm doing is proper. Yeah, dogs and kids. Um, I and really for me, the videos that I like to watch and that feel better for me kind of have that same thing, like not crazy editing, and occasionally the kids break in. You'll delete it and regret it. Yeah, I've thought about that, John. I have actually thought about deleting some, if not all, of my videos. I sometimes record and then delete, and then I'm mad because then I have to redo it. Um, yeah, I'm guilty of that. I have destroyed all of my artwork from high school, and I I just rip things apart. I don't understand why I do that. And the artwork from high school, I did a lot of drawing in high school, and it was good. And I think when my daughter got old enough that she was interested in it, and she started looking through it, it started bringing up memories, I think, for me. So I didn't like that. So then I just got rid of it all. She's still mad at me about that. She'll bring it up every once in a while, how I destroyed all of that. And I hope I don't delete everything, but I have gone through and like privatized or deleted older videos because when I watch them back, I think how embarrassing. I think we have to delay the decision for 24 hours. Hi. Yeah, at least 24 hours, if not a week, because sometimes, I'm trying not to act on my first impulse with making decisions, especially decisions like that. Um, when Sean over at, did you guys watch the collab video that I did over on Sean's channel? Did you guys watch that? It was super fun. I guess I thought he was gonna like come at me like it was a job. I thought he was gonna kind of come at me like it was a job interview, but really it was a Zoom call. So he sent me a link in one of my old videos of comments, in the comments, and then you just set that up, and it's just like this, except I could see him. It's like a Zoom meeting, which I've never done before, but any of you business people I'm sure have. And we just talked, and he didn't really have any questions for me, which was a little unnerving because I thought like this has no plan, no direction, and I want like a laid out. But it was fun, and it was interesting to talk to another creator, I guess, and then yeah, a different type. And yeah, it was cool. If you have time, I mean, it's long, it's an hour. Hello, Rayan. Um, it's an hour, but if you have the time to go and watch it, it was cool. Even if you can watch a little bit of it. Um, so yeah, and the people over on his channel seem to be enjoying it. Yeah, so that was a cool thing. I would like to do more of those. I don't know how to do this. I would have to look into how you even set up a Zoom meeting because no, John, but if you go into my like my community tab, there's a link in there. Because I think right after he posted it, I put a link in the community tab. There's like a picture of the two of us, and then if you just click that, it'll take you right over there. It's not warm enough to have no sweater on today, even though it is, I guess, 70 degrees in my house with the furnace. And I've only watched a few of, I think I've watched more of those types of videos now where they have two types chatting. Because he asked, I wondered what, Simon, wondered what you would think about the coronavirus situation at the moment. I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I do have issues with sometimes with these vaccines that are pushed out too quickly. And I have a little concern. I would have a lot more concern if they make the vaccine mandatory. That's really what's going to bother me because I kind of have a little bit of issue with authority sometimes. If I'm told that I absolutely have to do something or else, well, then I don't want to do it, you know? Yeah, I have looked into it, Simon. I have run down every rabbit trail, every conspiracy theory. They will make it mandatory. And I have researched this whole thing to the ends of the earth, every direction. And yeah, I do have concern. And I haven't, in my case, if they said that I hate to make a decision right away, I have concerned over anything that's mandatory, especially injecting things into my body. Um, but like I said, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. My children were vaccinated with like the minimum vaccines, but I never get a flu shot. When they were pushing that H1N1 shot years ago, we never got that. We do other things to try to build up our immune systems. But yeah, if you look at everything that has been going on and all the things, Ray and I use my phone. I don't have a laptop. I don't own a computer. My daughter says when she finishes this school year, she's going to buy herself a new laptop for when she leaves for college, and I can have her old laptop. So then I will have one, but I don't. I just use my phone. But yeah, this coronavirus thing, yeah, I don't really know what to think of it too much. And I get a little hesitant to share everything that I think about stuff, but I am concerned over this vaccine and it being mandatory. And, that is concerning. I want to say at this point, if they tell me it's mandatory and I have to go to work, I might not be going. And if I want to go back to work, that I have to have this vaccine, that I want to say I'm not going to go to work then. But I can't really say that right now. I don't know. It just seems very strange to me that they could even make it mandatory. I think so too, Simon. I think things are going to get worse. As far as like the food situation that's going on and the shortages, we have meat plants all over the United States that are being shut down, and farmers. And I have, people in the farming and ranching communities that I, have interaction with a little bit, secondhand interaction. And, the fact that they're having to euthanize their entire harvest right now, hundreds of hogs and hundreds of cattle, hundreds of heads of cattle, that's concerning. That's our meat for however many more months. It takes 18 months to grow a beef cow, as far as I know. It takes a good 3 or 4 months to grow a hog to market, and they're having to use them. Let's be optimistic. Oh, Rand, I'm not really that good at being optimistic. I'm like a professional pessimist sometimes. I have a hard time looking at trying to find the bright side there. Well, the optimistic part is I do not. Do we think any good can come out of all of this? I do think some good will come out of it. I think people, like I have from the beginning, I think people are going to realize what's actually important. I think that we are going to get a little bit more self-reliant and a little more aware of things, at least as far as the people that are awake, or the people that want to look around. Come back, comments. Yeah, I think high-risk people should get regular flu shots as well. I know my in-laws get their flu shots because they're both high risk. I've never had one, but yeah, but the flu shot, that is a lot more researched and developed and has had a lot more time, and it's not mandatory. You're still given freedom of choice with it. And yeah, I have a hard time when there's no freedom of choice. But yeah, what good do you guys think that any good is going to come out of this? Let's be optimistic, like Rayan said. What do you think might be good to come out of this whole mess that we're in? I know for me, it's made me a little more serious about preserving food that I grow. People being awakened, yes, the ones that want to be. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry. New ideas may come out, new technologies, new careers. Yeah, I like the idea of people being able to work from home, because I feel like home is kind of or has been kind of a luxury, being at home. And I think it's good for people to see that they can do that. Less hamster wheel. Yes, John. Less busyness is next to godliness. Ugh. Be nice if the environment was a higher priority. Yeah, and that's a tricky one, with the state of where we're at with industrial culture and the amount of people we have living on the earth, and the ideas that they want to put into place to help that, I think, are a little crazy, or a little bit too intense. And I don't want to get into that. I don't know a lot about that. I just read little bits about the things they want to do to improve our environment, I guess. Yeah, that's a tricky subject. But yeah, I still think, I don't have a lot of interaction with people right now, which is because I work in a salon. I normally see, 20 to 30 people in a week and have different conversations about different things. So I can't even say what the social environment is like for people right now. Anyone that I do talk to, they're kind of all just waiting. We're just waiting, to be reopened, and we're hoping for the best. And some of us are preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. And I'm in that boat as well. I feel like things are going to change, and I'm hoping it's good changes, and we'll see. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't want to be fire and brimstone and doom and gloom, but sometimes that's where my brain goes. And the more that I research about it, and the more crazy conspiracy videos I watch and articles I read, the worse that gets. So I've kind of stopped doing that. And now I'm just focusing more on what I would normally be doing this time of year, which is planting and watching videos about how to, be more productive in my gardens and things like that. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. I still haven't gotten my fence up the rest of the way, but I've got a good week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, before I can actually plant because we still have frost. So, early morning frost. I have a bunch of plants that I bought from the greenhouse that my husband works at, or my husband doesn't work in a greenhouse, he works at a prison, but they grow plants in a greenhouse there. So I did buy some plants from them, but they have been like in and out of the house. Yeah, we don't come out the same way we went in. Yeah, that was just my hope. Yeah, that dream, Simon. And, it's interesting to me because have you ever door slammed anyone? Yes, I have. Absolutely. I have door slammed people. Yeah, and that dream, those types of dreams, I don't know if you've ever had any of those types of dreams, but those types of dreams, you remember very well. Like when it is a message or a warning or some kind of dream that, God wants you to remember, you remember them very well. And I can still, like, if I thought about it, I could still remember every detail of that dream. And I don't know if that dream is for now or if it's coming up, but it was definitely like a warning type of thing. Yep. We have taken our freedoms for granted. There was um, a wheelchair archaeologist. I will answer that question really quickly here. I have door slammed, unfortunately, some members of my family that were too toxic for me. I gave them many, many chances, forgive them many times, and then I just walk away. And I guess that's what you call door slamming. And then you just kind of cut all ties, don't respond to phone calls or text messages, and it feels really, really harsh. But there's always a long road that leads up to it. It's not like a sudden thing, like one day I just wake up and I say, oh, I'm not going to talk to this person ever again. But for me, it doesn't really feel like a door slam. It's like it's like a series of doors, and usually you can see through them, and then I just keep shutting them, and then eventually you get the one where you're like, all right, this is done, and then it's shut and locked and you can't see through it or hear through it. And yeah, so let me look here. What was the dream? I'm not sure I saw it. It was my girlfriend and I were in my vehicle and we drove into town. I knew in my dream that we were going to get supplies. We were on like a supply run. And because I had a knowing that that civilization had kind of fallen apart. So we were looking for, supplies. I don't know what we were looking for exactly, but in my mind, in this dream, I knew we were looking for supplies. So we drove into town. It wasn't the town I live in, but it was they so we drove into town and the town was empty. There were no people on the streets. And there was like steam coming out of different places, like the buildings were not being maintained, and there was like plants growing, like nature had kind of taken over, like vegetation was kind of growing on different things. And then we were getting out, and my friend and I were having a really good time. We were like laughing and joking like we always do. And then we were going to get out and go look through a few buildings to see if we could find what we were looking for. And then as we were getting out, and we weren't like armed or anything, but as we were getting out, these people came running at us and they had masks on, like those really high black masks that you see. They had masks on and they were running at us and they were armed and they were trying to get us. And then we got back into the car and we closed the door, and then I woke up. And that was the dream. And I wasn't scared in my dream while I was having it, but I was scared after I woke up for a little while. Um, and then yeah, so that was that dream. Let's see what else. After the first video of you, I thought you have seen true darkness. I wonder what video that was that you saw. I have been able to see things in the spirit realm since I was super tiny, so I have seen some bad things. Ryan, you once dreamed you had a beautiful sister. I had lost a baby at one point, and about 6 months after that, I had a dream of her. And that was another one of those very real dreams that I'll never forget. I saw her face, I was holding her, and that was a pretty cool thing because I can remember telling God I just wanted to hold her and see her face. Really interested in how a very compassionate and kind person like an INFJ can just completely cut a person out of their life as if they are dead. Um, it's not easy. It is painful. But when it gets to that point, usually that person has violated your boundaries and walked on you so much that it's basically, I either have to do that or not survive. That's what it feels like. I either have to walk away from this person or they're going to completely consume me. And, because it's usually toxic people, and they don't respect you. They don't respect your boundaries. You've told them a million times, I don't like it when you do this, this, and this. I need you to do this for me. Our relationship can't continue as it is unless this happens. And I'm not really a person to give ultimatums or anything, but when somebody just wants to take and suck up and absorb and drink all your compassion and kindness and all of your love and then just hurt you in return, cutting them off as if they were dead seems to be the only option, because there isn't a way for me to just kind of be with somebody. I have to be my whole self. So it just doesn't, I don't know. Have you ever woken up laughing about a dream? Yes. um, yep. I've also woken up and not been able to move. Um, yeah, you never really stop. You just make yourself stop. Yeah. You just have to, right. It's just protecting your heart, protecting yourself, because there are some people that want to just take advantage of other people. And truly kind, compassionate people, that happens a lot too. Yeah, I don't think door slamming is necessarily just an INFJ thing. I think it's a self-preservation thing. Maybe we cut them out of our life so we don't go to jail. Yeah, maybe. Or we don't end up in a mental health unit. That was always my fear. I'm not so worried about jail, but mental health unit. Although sometimes I think it might be kind of nice to be in there for a few days and have everybody leave me alone and have no responsibilities. There's some INFJs that I watch videos that they don't believe in the door slam thing. They think that people don't really do that. It just saves wasting time, right, John? Yep. Because when you're dealing with a person that would be a good candidate for a door slam, you really are just wasting your time with them, because you're putting all of this energy and compassion into this person that really doesn't care. They're not going to grow from it. They're not going to learn anything from you. They're not going to, and relationships aren't all about what am I going to get out of it, but there is a give and take. And when you don't have somebody that wants to give back and they just want to take and take and take, you're wasting your time. Well, I used to be like that where I couldn't cut people out. And then I think it was around the time that I turned 30, I realized that I was going to just run myself into the ground. And yeah, then kind of the facade of who I was trying to be kind of fell apart. Yeah, you have to door slam narcissists to get control back. And if that control means that you can't have anything to do with them, at least you're on your side. You're protected, you know? Mm. Yeah, I have I don't I usually don't want to talk about my mom just in case she watches these, but I have an interesting, a difficult relationship with my mom. And it's kind of the same thing. Like if she contacts me, I will respond, but I kind of keep it limited because she, yeah, it's a hard relationship. So emotionally, and that happened around the time I was 30, just too many things after. At least we don't track their fingers, right? It's a clean slam. Yeah, get out of the doorway. Get out of the doorway. We're done. It's over. But yeah, my mom, and it breaks my heart that I can't have a functional relationship with her. Maybe someday I will, but it's just too difficult. I don't know what type she is, but it's kind of her way or the highway. So, and I had to separate myself because I was a grown woman with my own children. Okay, John, go and eat. I had leftover pizza from my Mother's Day meal last night, so that's what I had for breakfast today. It's really good. Lots of good stuff on it. And my husband made it so he's like loads it up because everything he does I always say is excessive. And that's a trait for him. I'm kind of like just a little bit here and there, but he was like piles it all on. So I was a little concerned I wouldn't be able to pick the pieces up, but that's what I had. And I really appreciated them making me a meal last night. I told them, I don't care what you make. I just don't want to make it. Normally I go to a greenhouse and buy a bunch of stuff for Mother's Day, but I didn't yesterday. Waiting for my allergies to get a little better. It might be a while. I don't know what's blooming right now. Everything just barely turned green. We still have, I did notice we're starting to get some buds on our trees, and my pear tree is going to flower this year, which is awesome. Although its pollinator died, so it won't be pollinated. So we have no fruit. Definitely. We kind of, yeah, we pick up other people's emotions, and we can we can't always identify our own from theirs. So especially when you're in like a group, you know, there's a lot coming at you, and it took me a long time to realize what was mine, and I don't always even know. But certain situations would give me a lot more anxiety and a lot more feelings, and it was because the other people have feelings, not necessarily because I do. And yeah, overwhelmed and drown is really a good way to describe it, because going into the public, I definitely have anxiety even on my way to work. I have like that sick anxiety feeling in the pit of my stomach because I don't know exactly what I'm going to go into. Although the more I touch this, the worse it gets. Um, you don't always know how people are going to be. And even though, you know, the salon, I always say like I'm the queen of my chair. Um, there, you still don't know what you're going to get. It is a controlled situation, and it is really only one person at a time, but you don't know how they're going to feel, and then how that's going to make you feel. And if you see 10 different people that day, that's a lot of different emotions and a lot of different moods to pick up all day long. So when I'm done with work, I am like totally exhausted. If my phone rings or anyone wants to talk to me after I get home, I'm just like, get away from me. But I really do enjoy my job. So I do like being around people. And I was just learning to weed out what is your emotion and what is someone else's, and trying to identify, like, I almost have to do a little pep talk, like, this is how I feel today when I'm alone in the morning. This is how I'm feeling about myself, about my life, about, everything, before I go out and pick up everybody else's stuff. And then, I always say, like, bring it home like you're wearing a coat. Yeah. But have a hard time identifying what is our feelings typically. This is just, look at this. This hair of mine says, I will not be restrained. It says, it's having a problem with authority, just like me. It says, if it's mandatory to stay in this braid, I'm not. Because you messed this up. Oh, my goodness. What did I do? Yeah. Well, let's see. Nope. It's not doing it. I need a bobby pin, which I don't have in here, so I might have to just give up. Or take the braid down and redo it. I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, I missed all these messages. It hides them from me. How does it feel like being 40? I'm 20 now. I'm afraid of growing older. I actually really like it. I feel a lot more balanced than I did when I was in my 20s, and I'm really excited about this time of my life. I feel, I guess, I feel a lot more like an adult than I did, in my 20s. I always felt like I needed permission to do things, and now I'm like, oh, I'm officially an adult, but at the same time I still feel young. I don't feel any older than I was. Let's see here, what else? And Ray and I did do a video about turning 40, and you could watch that one because I go into it. We can have fun with our FE and being social, but it drains us fast. Yes, absolutely. Can we see your braids? See? This one's a hot mess now. Braids are the they're good hair control, and because I hadn't finished my coloring job and I need to do something with this and then tone the orange down, I thought, well, I'll put it in braids so I don't look like a mess today. Because, we like to look our best. We can't stand people. Yeah, a good friend of mine is an INFP, and he doesn't like people very much. Patterns and mannerisms. Yeah, I have that too, but my FE seems to be really strong. It always kind of has been. I just am learning now to recognize it, that I'm not a mess necessarily. I used to just think I was a mess all the time because anytime I would go out in public, I would just be having all these feelings and they weren't even mine. 50s are even better. Well, good. I also have long hair despite the social trends. Yeah, I know, Rapunzel too. Yeah. I've had long hair. I had short hair when I was in my 20s, when I first started doing hair, because you go to beauty school and it all gets cut off. But I had long hair my entire childhood, and I lived in braids. And yeah, I like my long hair. I know that they say, like, socially, that older women shouldn't have long hair, and by my age, I should probably have it cut like up to here, but I just don't like my hair like that. Um, I'm gonna wear it long forever. The one time, um, I do kind of like looking like a fairy or an elf. So, but I look like is it Erwin or Owen? I don't know how to pronounce that from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Sometimes I do like the fairy braids and stuff. Yeah, Rapunzel, you are not afraid of dying. I'm not. I know where I'm going when I die. I'm not ready to die. I still, want to be here to see my children grow up, but I don't have any fear of dying. I never really have. I don't like getting sick, and I've had some like pretty bad sicknesses in my life that I've come through, and I've been close to death a few times, but I never really was afraid of it. I don't know. It just doesn't, I'm not afraid of dying. I can't really explain that. I don't like getting sick because it makes me not able to do my stuff, you know? Yeah, and I don't like the, even though I do hair for a living, I don't necessarily like the not mandated, but like the hair trends that go through. Some of them I like, but there's a lot of people that say, oh, once you're this age, you shouldn't do this. In the summertime, you should make your hair lighter, and in the winter, you should make it darker. I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I've heard that we have a magical vibe, and that used to actually annoy me when I would read or hear that they have this magical quality. I always used to annoy me because I'm like, I didn't want to identify with something that made me feel weirder than I already felt and feel more marginalized than I already felt. So, but I always have been very fascinated by, elves and fairies and things like that. And that's, who knows why that is. I don't feel very magical or angelic. No, I don't feel very magical either. I'm just a lady. I'm just a Midwest lady who's trying to fix her poor sad braid here. Yeah, definitely not feeling too angelic either. And, maybe that's a persona that we kind of put across, but I'm not sure. I haven't had too many conversations with other INFJs in person, except for one. And he kind of freaks me out. Yeah, that's a pretty common thing for us INF types to feel like a weirdo and an outsider. And I have to say, in this last year of being on here, I don't feel that as much, you know? And I feel like, oh, I'm something. I'm something now. I don't need to be like, this like, oh, I've arrived or anything like that, but I don't feel as weird and outside as I did prior to starting this whole YouTube business. You know, I feel like I belong somewhere and there are other people like me, so I don't have to feel so odd, I guess. And it still blows my mind when I like ramble on about a bunch of stuff on a video and then people say, oh my gosh, I go through the same thing. I'm like, really? Wonder what it feels like to be an ENFJ. Yeah, and to actually really gain energy from other people. Okay, you enjoy that sandwich, Kieran. Thank you. My bedroom is so tidy. Yeah, I try to keep my whole house so tidy, but I do not live with my family. There is not one tidy person, either of the ones that I gave birth to or my husband. They are not tidy. So I'm like constantly cleaning, I feel like. And I do have a routine for that, of course. And I do, typically every Monday I'll clean my whole house. I only did half of it, the upstairs half. But yeah, I don't like a lot of knickknacks or anything. I usually have like bright colors on my walls as far as paint, but then not much hanging on the walls. In fact, in this room, there's only one thing hanging on the wall. It's on this wall here, and it's just a mirror. Otherwise, I will do like paint and color, and I love color. And then that's it, because also I don't like to dust. So if you hang stuff up on the walls, you have to dust. But I try to keep things tidy, but it's difficult when you live with sensor types because they're kind of just all over the place. Yep, happy Mother's Day to the mamas. Yeah. I used to really have a hard time with Mother's Day, and it probably stemmed with the relationship with my mom. And this was even after I was a mom. But because I didn't like hearing, it was always when I went to church on Mother's Day and they made a huge fuss over the moms at church. And, we don't like having a huge fuss made over us. So, but then they would eventually, they would like tell stories about what a great mother they had and their relationship with their mom. And it just made me really sad because I didn't feel like I had that with my mom. So yeah, Mother's Day used to be hard for me. But now that my kids are older and they can kind of do their own thing to, I guess, celebrate Mother's Day with me, it feels better. So I just tell them I don't want to make food. That's for one day I don't want to cook food because I'm tired of cooking food every day since I've been home on the quarantine. Yeah. Yeah, keeping the place tidy. Yeah, keeping my house clean. And, I feel like I'm just following everybody around with a basket. And even though, I taught my children how to clean, they know how I like it. It's just like it doesn't enter their mind and they just move on to the next thing. They don't, I always call it like visual noise. If there's a lot of stuff around, clutter, piles of things, I can almost hear it, and it bothers me just sitting there, and then I can't relax if there's a lot of clutter and stuff. I had a harder time when my kids were small and there was a lot of toys and a lot of baby furniture. But now that they're older, all their stuff can go in their rooms and I can keep my areas, a little more tidy. And that helps me to have a little bit more peace. So I understand why that would be a sticking point. And, my husband, he is not bothered by clutter at all. As long as he can do what he needs to do, it just doesn't bother him. Yeah. Can't think because it's visual noise. You can just hear all those things talking to you. That's what it seems like to me. Like if I have a bunch of stuff, but then there's a little bit of a contradiction too, because, I'm looking at my dresser, which is right over here. I'm not going to show you because I would be embarrassed. But I have so much stuff piled on top of there. Like the rest of the room is spotless, but I have so much stuff piled on top of there that it's a big mess. And that's kind of how it is. Like everything will be organized and tidy and clean. And then there'll be one area where things are just piled. But we don't talk about that because that would be embarrassing and that doesn't feed the facade, I guess you want to say. It's usually my creative areas that get to be a mess. The table next to my where I sit in my chair, where I would have my knitting and right now embroidery, my embroidery stuff, whatever, or my books, or that table. Like there is barely enough space for me to set down my coffee cup on there because I have it just piled. But then the rest of the room, like nothing's out of place. That's just, and I never knew that was like a personality trait. I just thought that was me in my creative space. And a pastor at the church I used to go to told me once that creative people are usually kind of a disaster in their creative spaces. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that's normal, I guess. That is normal. Yeah, Ray and Mother's Day was yesterday. And I don't know what other parts of the world they celebrate Mother's Day, but here in the United States, it's a big deal. Lots of money being spent on flowers on Mother's Day. And I told my family a long time ago, don't give me flowers unless they have roots attached to them. Designated mess areas. Yeah, or like areas where we're going to just pile it up because I'm going to get to it later, and then eventually I get to it and then I end up throwing away half of it. Oh my gosh. Speaking of like deleting, like deleting entire channels or deleting videos or just quitting something. Are we going to meet aliens soon? I don't know about that. I have watched some things about Project Bluebeam. You might want to check that out, Ryan. Project Bluebeam. Check that out. Because I did watch a thing on that, and that was pretty interesting. It has to do with aliens. And it was interesting that the Air Force released those videos. They were a few years old of those UFOs. And it was like interesting that they would release them now during what's going on and like what's the plan with that. I'm always trying to figure out like what the plan is behind stuff. Yeah, we religion tends to be pretty, yeah, and I think, I don't know a lot about other types. I just know about, my own. I know quite a bit about the types that live in my house because I'm trying to get along with them. But we do have some pretty deep held values and beliefs. So whatever those may be. And yeah, religion, spirituality, it does seem to be very important. Or even just the lack of it. I've run across and spoken to a few INFJs that were atheist, and we don't really change our mind too much about that stuff. We might develop our belief one way or the other, but we don't really change our minds, I guess. We kind of, once we believe something, we kind of stick with it because, we've thought about it forever. By the time we believe something, we've thought about it forever. We've rolled it over and looked at every possible change in pattern, Yeah, Ryan was atheist once and he changed his mind. So maybe I'm wrong there. I am able to not necessarily change my mind. Once I know something, I feel like I know that I know that I know. But I have been able to like see things from a different angle and understand things differently, I guess. And some of that comes from your age. Just getting older and having more life experience and that childlike faith that you have as a young one where you just don't question anything. For a while that kind of went away. But I never had a time where I didn't believe in God. I know that like during my teenage and then before I was early 20s, I just didn't practice. I never didn't believe in God, but I didn't like serve him during that time. So she became a priest. Oh my. A priest of what kind of church? Teal Swan's prediction video about 2020. I watched a few prediction videos about 2020. I'm not sure if I watched that one. I would have to see it again. There was a guy that I watched, and his videos are so long, like 2-3 hours. Oh, Teal Swan is a cult leader. Well, I don't know if I want to watch that then. Oh gosh, I can't remember. Was it Sighted Moon? Sighted Moon, and I think the guy's name is Joe. I watched some of his live streams, and they're live streams, but you're not allowed to comment, so it's kind of an odd, like, why would you live stream it? Right. Yep. If he chose to create other beings, that's okay. Yeah. We don't know. We don't have all the answers, Just like somebody asked me if all the answers, if I get all my answers that I looked for in my life for my faith, and I said no, not really. And that's okay. We don't always know. Yeah, watch Project Bluebeam. That is an interesting thing. Well, you can't prove it. No. No, because, well, you can't prove a lot of things. You know, you like operate on faith, not sight. So yeah, you can't prove it. And I wish I could come up with some clever examples of how you can't prove other things that you can't see, but I can't right at the moment here. It's just, yeah, faith. That's what faith is about. Yep, that's where faith. Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, it has been an hour. I'm going to try to keep these down to an hour because I spent, oh, she was spot on. Well, I might check it out because I'm not, I watch some weird stuff. Um, I watch some videos where not something rational. Yeah, I watched some videos that I'm like, what did I just watch? But do you think an INFJ can convince you to change a point of view over other types? Um, I'm not sure what that means. Have a good day, David. I will have a good day. The sun's shining. But yeah, I'm gonna get going here, guys. Simon, I will check out that video. I'm always up for something. And what that guy on Sighted Moon said was pretty scary too. Oh, Michael, I'm like signing off. It's been an hour. I'm ready to get going. I have, you know, real world responsibility. And you guys have a great day. I will see you on my next video, and I will also see you next Monday here for live stream. And maybe I will stretch it out a little bit longer, but I want to catch the Wisconsin press conference today, so I've got to get going. Have a great day. I appreciate you guys.